Disclaimer, I'm reading this report and I'm just giving my opinion because this shit's crazy, because this is a crazy ass like court document, and I just want to read it and give my opinion because it's very insane. Here's the video. Alright, what's up guys? Things just got a lot worse for my man YNW Mellys. So a few days ago, court documents came out about the details of the shooting. They're pretty fucking haunting if they turn out to be, you know, true, which I'm not saying they are. Just like I said in previous videos and on Twitter and stuff, right? Just because cops are saying this doesn't mean he's guilty. But then now, my man is involved in a whole nother murder of a cop. But before we get into the police officer situation, it was an off-duty cop, I have to talk about the court documents. I read the entire thing when it first got released a few days ago, and I was like, holy shit, bro. This shit's serious. This is a little sticky situation because they sound very confident. The front right passenger, Anthony Williams, sustained gunshot wounds to his torso and head, while the right rear passenger, Christopher Thomas Jr., sustained several gunshot wounds to his back and head. They're pronounced dead at the hospital. Henry, the driver, who's arrested now with Melly, answered questions by the cops and said that a car pulled up next to them, started shooting. That's what he told them. And apparently, he pointed out the exact location, and police went there and walked, like detectives went there and walked down the road to see if any evidence that a drive-by shooting actually happened. Now, they have footage of Melly and everyone who got into the Jeep, Sock Chaser and Juvie Bortland, all getting in the Jeep. And apparently both of them had bags that looked like it was weighed down. The fuck does that mean, bro? There could be money in there, right? I should point out that the cell phone, this little fucker right here, this shit's scary. So cell phone towers, your exact location in terms of like coming down to the feet of where you are exactly. So the vehicle that was in the shooting had 8 bullet holes in it, but this is where it gets hairy, boys. This is where it gets bad, all right? Taking the glasses off, got marks on my nose, getting real serious in this bitch. I can't see a goddamn thing. There was a shell casing in the car, and this shell casing is very important. And you know why it was very important? Because it was right under where apparently Melly was sitting. A search warrant was obtained on the cell phones and cell sites used by Melly. They traveled west but turned north. They have video evidence of the Jeep not going directly to the hospital. Now all these cell phone records and shit apparently show that they were driving around everywhere for like, I don't know how long, I'm guessing like 10, 20 minutes or something, with apparently Sock Chaser and Juvie in the car deceased. They apparently drove around for a little bit, and I'm guessing they were trying to figure out what the fuck to do. Now, there's also video of Bortland with a black shirt leaving the studio, and then when he gets to the hospital he has a hoodie on, and then they apparently found out that the black shirt he has on has a blood stain on it. Certain places when a drive-by shooting happens, it's understandable. Now, a fucking canine was walking down the side of the road, boys, trying to see if any type of evidence, right? Closer examination of the newly discovered crime scene revealed the vehicle was stopped and weapons were discharged into the vehicle and then made a U-turn and fled. This was clearly not a drive-by shooting, and no other vehicle pulled next to them and started shooting, as Henry stated. They're getting confident in this bitch, bro. It's scary. What the fuck is that? How long was that in the shot, bro? Now here's the worst of the worst, bro. The autopsy reports, boys. The fucking autopsy reports. The wound path on the neck of Williams was from back to front, left to right, and upward. This was in contradiction to what was stated that a drive-by occurred on the right side of the vehicle while in motion. None of the flight paths from the exterior of the vehicle matched the wound path on the rear of Williams' head. It was obvious that the projectile entered from the left rear side of the vehicle. So basically, they have hard evidence, but this is the most damning of the evidence, the fact that the driver who took the car to the fucking hospital said the car pulled up on this side of us, but all the wounds are from this way. And here's the worst part, boys. Guess what? From left to right, right? And apparently Melly was in the back left seat. So this is a big clusterfuck. I'm gonna keep it 100. This is a huge clusterfuck, boys. I received confirmation from the medical examiner's office that the entry wound on the left side of Thomas's face was an intermediate wound. 3 centimeter stippling pattern around the entry wound shows that the initial lethal shot occurred from inside the vehicle and was initiated from the left rear passenger seat, the same position occupied by Melly. Now, this wound apparently showed evidence that it was a type of wound, basically, that the gun is within 3 inches and 3 feet from the person. So this is like 3 feet right here, right? Like, I don't know, some shit like that, right? There's no way a drive-by shooting is at least like 10 feet, you know what I mean? The car is all the way over, like, come on, let's be realistic. So this is a big clusterfuck. It's not looking too good for Melly boys. The gunshot wound to the back of Thomas also indicates those wounds were inflicted after he was shot in the head as projectiles entered Thomas's back. Evidence from the autopsy revealed that both victims' wound paths to their heads were from left to right direction. They got a search warrant on Melly's phone too, boys. And he said on Snapchat, "This N-word saved my life. He know he coming everywhere with me, cause if them crackers come grab him, it's my fault. You forgot? I keep Portland wit, cause at the end of the day, he did one of the realest shit in my life." They also suggest that Henry was loyal to him because he's the one who drove the bodies to the hospital and dealt with law enforcement. Oh boy, this is not looking good, guys. It really isn't. I have no idea what to think of any of this, because I don't know how someone could defend something like this. Do you know what I mean? How do you have a defense against it? Because it seems like the evidence they have is pretty damning, and there's just like 5 things that are just very scary. Melly's a great artist, and if any of this is actually true and he gets found guilty, then that's just gonna be crazy, bro. Huge waste of talent. The killing of the cop situation is not even really confirmed yet. It's just from high-ranking law enforcement sources saying investigators believe they were involved in the shooting death of the off-duty deputy. These sources also claim that the fact that Melly and Borton were allegedly at the scene of the shooting in Gifford 2 years ago is common knowledge among locals. So this isn't really even confirmed yet. This is just a shit show, boys. Oh man, I don't even know what to think of it. Hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'll follow you back. All right.